everyone, this is Mad Morgan. Thank you very much for tuning in for today's episode. Yes, this is episode 1. I believe today is October 16th of 2024. Yeah, believe it or not, 2024. Where's my flying cars? All I gotta say, it's hard to believe when I say that day. But yeah, so this is episode 1. And welcome to B.T.U. Radio, which is where we've kind of been working towards for years now. We wanted to have one format, one show, something not too much in your face, but kind of something that's still got to keep you wondering, right? So this is the evolution of B.T.U. Radio. Now, a lot of people are like, what does BTU stand for? It's frustrating. For those of you that have been following along, we had a show we called Bitter Truths Unboxed. Yes, Bitter Truths Unboxed. And we liked that title and everything else, but we wanted to specify, we wanted to make sure that all the guesswork was taken out exactly what we were. So we're old school in the sense that we don't believe that something at its purity should be removed, right? So for instance, podcasts are audio only. This whole evolution of things where everybody needs to be on video, I think it's a bunch of BS in my opinion. So whatever. So we wanted to specify that this is BTU radio. This is just radio. This is the purest essence of what it is. Okay. We are a podcast. We are audio only. That is the way it is. We don't go into this bastardized version of what some moron decided. Hey, I'm going to add video to it. No, that's called streaming. That's video. That is completely different. I hate to break it to you, but it is now streaming. It's this video. And you're just basically videotaping somebody that's on a mic anyways. But they were already doing that. So anyways, I'm not going to split hairs. I'm not going to have the argument about it. The fact is that that's not podcast. That's just streaming. That's video. That's been overdone, completely killed during COVID, whatever. So yes, we are BTU Radio. We are OGs. We are pure radio audio only. Just so you know, that's how it's going to be. Yes, you will find podcasts on YouTube, but that's only because they got rid of the Google, and Google owns YouTube and they have a podcast section. So it's the only reason why you have our podcast on there, because that's the new home of Google Podcasts. All right. So enough about that. Welcome to BTU Radio. And again, as I said, I'm your host, Mad Morgan. For those of you who've been following along over the years, you know who I am. We, of course, originated with Soapbox Nation way back when, years ago, and we've evolved to a few other shows, bounced around a few ideas. But as always, I'm a one-man show. So, you know, I do the recording, I do the audio, I do the graphics, you name it, I do it all myself. Only because it's really difficult. I don't want to have mixed creative ideas, mixed visions. So for now, because of everything else I got going on, it's solo. It's a solo thing. I don't have the budget. I have life and everything else to take care of. So a little bit more about me, just so you know, just to start things out for episode 1. I'm a dad. Yes, I have a teenager at home. I also have a pet at home. I have a dog at home. I've been through a lot of different careers. I have been on the street, and I've also been in penthouses. You know, I've lived up and down the scale, but I was raised to be a working person, a working man, and but I'm also a Gen X, so I'm a little unfiltered and not so much PC. So I'm just going to fair warn people about this, but I do want to set the record straight when it comes to a few things. When it comes to this, yes, I am a Gen X, and yes, I'm unfiltered, and I'm not, PC, but I'm not crude and rude, and I do have a sense of mannerisms. So yeah, there will be some swearing that comes out when something needs to be emphasized, but I'm not one of these people that likes to spew out of the mouth a whole bunch of crudities and vulgarness and everything else just because it makes me feel stronger, macho, and tough, and I'm all that and a bag of chips. No, I'm pretty reserved when it comes to that stuff because there's really no need for it, and I don't care. Some arguments will say, "Oh, well, only super intelligent people curse a lot," and there's another side that'll say, "Yeah, that's completely lack of class." Frankly, I'm more a favor on the lack of class thing. So I'm not really going to be swearing a lot, but it will come out because there's a lot to talk about. And sometimes these topics get really passionate, or at least I get passionate about it because it's something that I feel strongly about. So, I want to put it out there. I want it to be emphasized and I want people to know about it. All right. So with that being said, currently I'm between careers. I'm doing new things, and I wanted to get back into the podcast thing. Now, some people are like always saying to me, Matt Morgan, why do you even bother? You know, your numbers are up and down. And da, 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 da. Why do you even bother? I was like, here's the thing. Yes, I understand the market is flooded with people trying to be famous. I understand that people want to be influencers and creators and celebrities and this and that. I'm not in it for that. I'm not in it at all for that. And I've been saying that since day one. As long as I've been saying, hey, how is your integrity today? I've also been saying, I'm not in it for the money. I'm not in it for the fame. I'm not in it for any of that stuff. But here's the thing. I am trying to make the world a better place. I am trying to make a difference in the world. How do you go about doing this? Well, I'm not going to do something radical. I'm not going to do something outrageous. I'm going to do something that I can do something as much as I can, and hopefully I can reach people that it helps out. Hopefully it can reach people that can make a difference. Hopefully it can get people motivated to want to be better, to have a sense of integrity, to want to make the world a better place. You see, the more people that hear a positive message of what could be, what the world could be, how things can get better, it's not just blowing sunshine up your ass. It is not blowing sunshine up your ass at all. It's pretty much, we can do anything we want in this world. We just have to want it bad enough, because if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you always got. So you kind of have to change your methodology. You have to change your way of doing things, you know, and people are like, well, you can't do that. It won't make a difference. Not enough people are going to get on board. Well, that's the whole thing. You got to be consistent with things. You have to influence others to do the right things. Don't do bad things. Don't do crime. Don't hurt other people. Don't take from others. Help others. That's the message you should be getting across to people. That is what you should be doing. And you do that enough. You do that enough and you influence people. You set the example. You send the message. Eventually it's a domino effect. Just like bad can influence, so can good. A lot of people don't see that. But like, for instance, I look at my teenager at home. I hate to break it, she's a sheep. She doesn't fit in the leader category. She's a sheep. She's so influenced by social media. She's so influenced by her social circles. She's so influenced by all this stuff rather than what matters. Now, she knows better because she's super intelligent. But at the same time, for some reason, it just gets to her psyche. It gets to her subconsciously. And that cycle's got to break, because the powers that be, the money hungry, greedy people at the top of things are the ones that are influencing all that. And it's trickling down and causing problems for us average people, okay, our working class and everything else. So somebody comes up with some really stupid idea and pushes it on down through media outlets, pushes on down through fashion outlets, pushes on down through radio and music and everything else. And believe it or not, it's just one big cluster mindfuck where they basically have a really stupid idea, which is really not beneficial to anybody, push it through all these different channels, and then they just sit back and they laugh when they see the end result, where it affects young, naive, undeveloped minds who simulate it for whatever reason, because they think it's something that everybody else is doing. Nobody's communicating enough about the real stuff that matters, so nobody's comparing notes. Everybody is fearing FOMO these days, so everybody's jumping on board. And if everybody just sat down and communicated, hey, did you see this, this, and this, and this? What do you guys think about this? Dissect it and realize that a lot of it is silly. So let's get back to on course when it comes to things. So that's where I'm at with BTU Radio. So Bitter Truth Unboxed. Yes, look at the title, look at the name, Bitter Truth Unboxed. Basically, I'm going to give you the bitter truth, okay? The bitter truth of things. Here's the bitter truth. I'm not going to pull any punches and everything else. Now, as I said, I'm not PC. I'm a Gen X. I'm part of that generation where we were feral. We raised ourselves. We basically learned how to survive at the age of 6. We could, you could drop us off somewhere and we could figure out how to survive. That was us. Okay. But we had manners. We had respect. We had values. We had morals. We had a lot of this stuff that generations that followed us didn't have. Generations that followed seem to have this, they're expecting stuff, they're entitled, which is really freaking annoying, because unfortunately the Gen X's, those ones that for some reason are just misfits, but not in a good way, raised their kids to be so entitled. Like, whoa, hang on a second. We should know better. But no, okay. For some reason, instead of the values that we learned that we had, that we're going to like raise our kids to be complete wimps and entitled little brats who expect everything handed on a silver platter and not have to do any work. Sad. Look at the world out there. That's how it is. You ever go to a grocery store? Oh, wow. When I used one of my first jobs at a grocery store, I used to pack bags, stock shelves, everything else. We had to go in dress pants, dress shirt, and a tie with our apron, looking great. We didn't bring toys to work, like our phones. We didn't do any of that stuff like that. We weren't allowed to twiddle our thumbs when we were on shift. We work, sweep floors, stock shelves, clean up this, clean up that. Kids these days, they're sitting there in a corner for like an hour playing on their phone, and they still have a job. We'll touch more on that on another story, but I want to tell you a little bit more about Matt Morgan, which is myself and my values as who I am. I live by integrity, and I very much cherish that word, and I value that word, integrity. Okay, so that is me. I live my life with integrity, doing the right thing when no one else is watching. And that's to sum it up. That is the simple explanation of it. Integrity means doing the right thing when no one else is watching. In a world today where everybody's watching and everybody wants to be seen, my philosophy is, hey, I'm going to do the right thing when no one else is watching, because that means I'm always doing the right thing, because I don't care who's watching. It's the right thing to do. It's the moral thing to do. I'm going to do it. Now, I'm not racist. And if anybody looks at me in that way as being racist, no. I judge a book not by its cover. I don't judge a person by its cover. I judge a person by how big of an asshole they are. Okay? That's how I judge a person. How big of an asshole are you? Great. That's how I'm judging you. I don't care what skin tone you have. I don't care about your origins. I don't care about anything like that. I judge you by how big of an asshole you are. Simple as that. Nothing else matters. So don't come at me with this racist bullshit. Okay? Don't come at me with any of that stuff. If you're an asshole on one level or another, that's how I'm judging you. Simple as that. Okay? So I want to set the record clear, because I don't want people crying later on about this stuff like that. And yes, I am a generation Gen X. I was born in the 70s, and we don't have filters with a lot of stuff. So forgive me if I slip once in a while. It might happen. So don't get your panties in a bunch. Don't get all upset about it. Don't be what the kids call these days the snowflakes. Don't be all freaked out about that stuff like that. It's going to happen. It's not meaning to offend anybody. It's just I'm very frank and straightforward. And there were certain things once upon a time that it was okay. That we still have to learn that in today's sensitive world, we can't do or say, but I'm trying. So please bear with me with that stuff like that. Okay, let's get further into our episodes. So how this is going to work is simple as that. When I have something to share, I'm going to come on the air and I'm going to do an episode for you. And I'm going to talk about some random stuff because I got tons of stuff to talk about. And yes, am I trying to make the world a place? Yes. Do I think I succeed? I think anything's possible. I've told people that since day one. You can do anything you want in this world. You can be anything you want in this world. You just have to have the heart and the dedication and the discipline to get what you want in this world. Honestly, fairly, putting in the hard work and just getting it done. I strongly believe that. And I still have that same values when it comes to the way I do things. And the fact is that I believe I can help make the world a better place. One small step at a time. And I reach out to whoever's going to listen, whoever's going to tune in, and hopefully I can influence them, educate them, brighten their world a little more, get them out of the darkness of ignorance and get them into stop being ignorant, stop being arrogant, stop being convinced that they're so righteous and so awesome and so know everything, and give them a better way, because we're in this together. We're on this planet together. And if we don't start changing our ways, we're going to have the same results. Look around. That's kind of the way it works, right? It's kind of the way it works. Now, I'm not going to be one of those, we say, give peace a chance. No. Yeah, peace is great and everything else. It's logical if you think about it. Crime doesn't do any good. War doesn't do any good. Violence doesn't do any good. This doesn't help anything, right? So you have to change the ways in order to have different results. So this is my way of putting my message out there and trying to not influence. I'm trying to enlighten people to give you an idea. There's a better way. And if I could touch one person, maybe they can touch one person, and so on and so forth, and get your mind out of the gutter. I'm not talking about touching that way. I'm talking about touching their minds and their emotions and their values, changing people to want to do better and have a better life and have a better world for themselves and for their kids. This could be done now, okay? But there's too many different levels. There's so much unfairness in society. There's these rich 1%ers who basically control everything and keep the rest of us under a rock and basically just keep stomping on us whenever they feel like it. And this is part of what we're going to be discussing. There's a lot of social injustice. There's a lot of, the whole financial thing, injustice is out there. There's too many of these idiots with money versus all these hardworking people that should have opportunity that don't. And this is stuff that we're going to discuss. From everything, the political scene, everything from faiths, everything from different parts of the world, everything that people are overlooking and not seeing or basically turning a blind eye to. Yeah, we're going to bring that out. We're going to discuss this, and we're basically going to put it out there. And yeah, I'm going to get to the point of being able to have the mechanism in place that eventually we have collaborations, probably have some interviews, probably have this kind of stuff, depending on the demand, depending where the numbers say, depending on any support that we get from you, whether it be financial and even sharing us. Whether or not you can't spend a dime because you're hurting like I am financially, that's fine. Share it. Tell people about us. Because, you tell two friends and they tell two friends and so on and so on and so on. Yeah, that's... Some of you will get that. My generation will get that. But the point being here is that there's different ways that you can support people. Positivity, sharing, exposure, all that stuff like that. I'm not asking for $1 million, and I'm not asking you to give me next month's rent. I'm basically saying, hey, I'm trying to get it out there and I'm trying to help everybody. Okay. And yeah, I'm putting out my time and I'm putting out the expense because it does cost. This isn't freebie. There is monthly costs that, I'm footing the bill for, but that's because it matters to me. And that's why I'm willing to make that sacrifice. And I'm here for you and for everybody else because I want to make that change. And no matter how much the naysayers say, oh, you're not going to make any difference. You're not going to change it. Nobody's going to listen. Fine. One person listens. I feel I made a difference. If I've made one person's viewpoint better, that was worth it. If I change one person's negative into a positive, that was worth it. If I make any sort of difference in any person's life or whatever, if I make any difference and if I reach anybody, I'm good for that. I am good for that. I'm good with that. And then it was worth it. It was worth my time, worth my expense, worth all that. So I'm just going to say, you know what? You can naysay until you're blue in the face, and you can naysay and say this podcast is crap, and you can naysay and say I'm crap. You can naysay until the cows come home. It's not going to break my stride, my friend. Remember, Gen X here, and I'm also a dad, and I've also survived so much in my life that nothing you can say or do is going to actually derail me because I've hung in for a few years now doing this. And before I got into this whole video and podcast thing and helping out people, I was on the back end. I was behind the scenes. It wasn't until COVID that I started to come out, in front of things to give it a shot. Because I'm like, yeah, okay, so I'm making everybody else's dreams come true, and I'm helping out everybody else be successful in what they want to do and their message and everything. So then myself, Mad Morgan, decided to come, hey, let's get on the mic. Let's do that. Let's do our own stuff. Let's get our own message out there. Let's do what we want to do. So that's what I'm all about. That's what I want to tell you today in today's episode. Yeah, we're going to be all over the place. We're going to talk everything from movies to politics to this to that to your relationship to why things aren't working out for you to your career things to legalities. But I want to clear the air on one more thing before I get into this because they say you kind of have to cover your tracks on this. I am a jack of all trades. I have a lot of useful information in a lot of different areas, but by all means, am I not a certified professional in any of them? Okay. But it is solid, sound advice take it with a grain of salt, take it as you will, but I don't want your legal teams or lawyers or whatever coming back at me and go, well, he said he was an expert. No, I didn't say I was an expert. I didn't say I was certified this or professional or anything like that. Let's just clear the air on that one. No. Now, it's sound advice. It's proven advice. It is valid advice, but it might go against the grain when it comes to the societal norms. It might go against the grain on a lot of different things. So don't quote me as being a professional because I'm not claiming to be a professional. But what I'm going to share with you is what's worked for me. What I'm going to share with you is what I have seen work time and time again. What I'm going to share with you is knowledge that I find is valid. So I'm going to give you the straight goods. Exactly what I would tell a friend if they were in the room with me. Okay. I'm going to give you the straight goods of somebody that I care about, somebody I want to help. That's the straight goods I'm going to give you. Okay. I just want to make sure we understand each other on that one. I'm going to give you the straight goods as like I'm giving a friend or a family. Okay. But don't quote me as a professional. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. All right. That's all I'm saying. So, but it is good advice. But you have to use your common sense to figure out whether or not it's something that you want to give credit to. Not going to hold it against you. If you want to give credit to it, give credit to it. But I'm not going to mislead you. I'm not going to BS you. These shows, they're not going to be scripted. They're not going to be thought out and planned and blah, blah, blah. The only editing I'm doing is editing the audio to hopefully make it somewhat, not so painful on your ears and not so many oohs and ahs and gaps and everything else. That's pretty much the only editing I'm doing. I don't write a script. I don't do any of that stuff like that. So if I run on stuff, I run on stuff. And hopefully it works for you. If not, that's fine as well. I'm open to advice. I'm open to suggestions. I'm open to communication. So there is our source. There is our main website, themadmorgan.com. Let's get that out there. I know it's like 20 some odd minutes into the show, but themadmorgan.com. Yes, themadmorgan.com. Check it out. You will have all my information on there. We have regular articles we do on there. There's contact information on there. You send me spam, I will blacklist you and I will auto respond you until you want to submit and never be on the internet again. So you send me any sort of sales stuff and, I can help you and I can do this and everything else. And you try to pitch me any sort of sales thing for your own selfish, greedy profitability. I will make your email correspondence a living hell. I will tell you right now, you spam me, I will make it a living hell. Let me tell you, my friends, I got onto the internet when it was still new in the 90s. I know how it works. Okay. Just going to tell you, I know how it works. So if you want to start sending me a whole bunch of marketing stuff, don't be surprised of the outcome of it. Okay. Just so you know. So check out themadmorgan.com. As I said, I'm open to a lot of things. I don't fall for scams. I don't fall for any of that crap. Don't even try. I've written books on it. I've written articles on it. Good luck. You want to try that crap? Well, I will take you down. Let's just say that. All right. So regards to that, check out themadmorgan.com. By all means, reach out to me. I will have the best format I can, put up blocks for the people that are pains in the asses. But for those that truly want to get a hold of me, whether it be for collaboration, donations, suggestions, complaints, compliments, whatever, I will have ways that you could reach me with that. And then we'll go from there. I'm looking forward to this project. I'm looking forward to this moving forward long term, because I wanted to be able to create something that I won't give up on, not something that's so structured that I have to abide by a niche. I'm sorry. I hate niches. This is going to be really random. And I know they say, you got to have a niche in order to be successful. I'm sorry, but that's just so limiting. It means you can't talk about this, can't do that, can't do this, can't do that. And they put you into a little box. I don't want to be put into a little box. I want to be able to say what I got to say, get my message out there, try to make a positive difference, teach people about integrity, and move forward. What can I promise you? Let's conclude on this. What can I promise you? I can promise you, guaranteed, guaranteed at least one episode per month. Okay. That much I can guarantee you. I have a busy life. I'm a dad, husband. I have professional work stuff I got to do. I also got a puppy at home and needs a lot of attention. I have aging parents on both sides, in-laws and my parents. I have a chaotic teenager at home, which takes a lot of my efforts as well. So, I mean, I got a lot that I'm juggling on a regular basis. So yeah, when I have something to share, I'm doing an episode. How long will the episodes be? Okay, I'm thinking 5-10 minutes to 30 minutes, give or take, depending on what I got to say, depending what's going to be out there. And I will try to title something that kind of relates to the topic. Otherwise, you are just getting the date, the date that I've actually posted them, the date that I decided to put that podcast out there, that episode out there. That's going to be the date of it. It's going to be like some of those late night talk shows. It's just basically the date. They don't give you a title of what it's about. It's kind of like, here's the date and listen to it. And it's going to be whatever. I'll do my best to document a lot of this stuff, but hopefully you enjoy it enough that you keep tuning in. And if you keep tuning in, great. But I'm going to be here regardless. I'm going to keep doing it. And hopefully you like what we got to say. I'm open to suggestions, communications, everything else. So with that said, I'm not going to run on any longer at this point. Episode 1. This is it. This is me. I am fair. I am just. I live with integrity, not racist, not biased, not doing a lot of that stuff. Take me with a grain of salt because I am not very PC. But it is what it is. I'm not going to keep rehashing what I've already covered. So hopefully you listen. So I'm your host, Matt Morgan. Hopefully you stick around and you tune in, and I look forward to seeing you here and being here for you, and check out our website, mattmorgan.com. And I hope to see you next episode. Take care until then.